Welcome. You find yourselves in the town tavern. Through the typical calm pierces an unfamiliar voice. It sings news of a nefarious power. A bard to herald a call to all who would answer. Seek out this villainy and destroy it. To succeed is to achieve everlasting glory and riches beyond imagining. To fail is to lose everything. Will you answer the call?
Fuck it. Hello, welcome to episode 6 of season 2 of WovenRealm. Tonight, the episode is titled Grimstone, and we'll maybe find out what that means later. Quick show note before we dive in. Noir will not be playing in WovenRealm anymore. Wish him the absolute best. Go check out his other stuff if you want to. So that's just a quick show note, and we will move on. So with that, the last episode, oh, my bad. The last episode, we really did some stuff. We did a number.
Stuff.
We did a number on Briar. The party investigated. What did y'all do? That was like 4 weeks ago. It was a long time.
We painted the town. Well, we went to the tomb or whatever, the secret tomb.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah. To Phyla's, right? It was like a Phyla tomb.
Yes,
yeah, and
thank you. Yeah.
And then Shaw died in the process. Phyla brought him back upon a request, and
a demand.
And then Fenris got yelled at, and then we moved forward.
Yep, and that was pretty much it. So we're gonna pick up right then morning after. Everyone is still staying at Talagast's house. Ishrigar is there, and it's kind of the 6 of you now living at this house for the time being. So the morning rolls on through. Beautiful morning. You don't hear the sound of any animals cawing or birds chirping, because again, you were under the domed city. The dome still stands resolute. You don't see the sun, but the simulated brightness that the dome gives off has increased, signaling that it is in fact daytime. So you wake up, best judgment. You're a little thrown off because again, you don't really see the sun, but it's probably around 7, 8 a.m. Downstairs, you're instantly awoken by the smell of fresh baked bread and things as Talagast is in the kitchen. And those of you who linger in bed for a little while, eventually you smell burning and you hear, "Oh shit," from the kitchen. And then it is quickly extinguished as you hear heavy footsteps from Ishrigar heading into the kitchen to help his friend.
Oh
no. So the 4 of you kind of reconvene, go down for breakfast, and as you're eating breakfast, enjoying each other's company in the morning, Ishrigar and Talagast stand up and they walk into the shop side of his home, and they need to run the shop for the day. So you are kind of free to the day. As you look around the table, a familiar smell drafts through the window, and in front of you, you see your good friend Emmy.
Hello, everybody. I am sorry it has been so long.
Oh, hello.
You're muted.
Oh.
Not anymore, not. Maybe.
I was not.
Okay, now you're good.
Oh.
You were for a second, yeah. Or the sound wasn't getting picked up, at least.
I must have just not been facing the microphone well enough.
We got you now. Hi. Oh, I've missed all of you so much.
Oh, we are very excited to see you. Why are you here?
Well, unfortunately, I have a little bad news, I suppose. It seems that Shaw's path has truly diverged from the caravans from now on, and they left last night, and they will not be coming back. Fenris, I have returned Kipper to you. He is outside. I fed him too. Don't worry, he got lots of snacks.
Thank you. I was worried about the young Drake.
Don't worry, he is fine. But I wanted to bring this back for you because this belongs with my caravan. And Emmy takes a bag that they have off their shoulder and puts it on the breakfast table. They also just grab like a piece of bacon while their hand is nearby.
Oh, yes.
Well, I haven't had these in so long.
I like to imagine Fenris is like, wake and bake, right? Just passes Emmy the J as Emmy's like walking by.
Oh, thank you. That's very generous. Here I have a little extra for you, of course.
Oh, I got that.
You some.
I got that fun from some follower of Bulin Yang. Righteous herb is the strain.
Oh, this is going to be great stuff. I will save it for a special occasion.
I did not know that celestial beings could still taste mortal food.
Oh, yes, I can. We just don't really have it in the other planes, so it feels weird.
Oh.
She's like eating, so her mouth is full of bacon this whole time.
Yes.
I cannot stay too long. I have many new responsibilities as an Arch Existence now. They do so many things by their own hand. I had no idea. But it was really nice.
It's wonderful to see you, Emmy. We've missed you very much.
I have really missed you too. I wish I could be around more often. It is tricky. I have been trying to keep an eye on Soren as best I can, so my attention is pretty divided.
Oh, is Soren okay?
As you ask that, Emmy's head sort of like snaps towards the southeast, where Maywood is, and you see her ears sort of like turn, and she's like, ha. Speak of the devil, so to speak. I actually need to go. He kind of needs my help, like right now. But it was really nice to see all of you. Oh, first, this is for you. I'm really sorry. And Emmy reaches into her pocket and hands something very small to Oleander, and then dissolves into smoking green stardust.
And just Fenris just
Amazing.
You just inhaled Emmy.
it's just the
That's
Emmy
weird.
weed smoke. Just that weed smell though, because like Emmy smells like weed, right?
It's true, yeah.
Like Emmy's dank AF.
Oleander will look at the thing that Emmy handed to her, and I think her eyes just sort of go wide, and she like drops it on the table, startled, and just sort of goes, I don't understand. What is that?
Good question. What is it?
Fenris walks over to the table and picks up the small bullet-shaped object. It's not made of normal lead, and shites.
Yeah.
Who'd you piss off?
I don't know.
Well, perhaps the fortune teller was correct to be concerned for us. Hands bullet back to Oleander.
Oleander just sort of like turns it so the others can see, and it has the word Morgenstern scratched into the side.
Oh, that's ominous.
To say the least.
But a good ominous, right?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I'm not such a fan of bullets and guns.
Recent experience makes me not much of a fan either, so.
No.
Well, perhaps I will be able to find something at the library about this. The material, if nothing else.
Yeah, it is not of earthly metal. I would certainly have it looked into.
Well, I am still open to accompanying you to the library. Perhaps my knowledge of or other languages can be of assistance.
Oh, that would be very helpful, actually. Constance, I would appreciate that if you don't mind. I will probably be there for quite some time.
Oh, I don't mind.
So, great. Would anybody else like to go to the library? What are you going to do today?
Well, I was planning on just investigating the city, seeing if we could find out what's wrong here.
I will probably accompany Azara. I do not think we should be splitting up, considering. Gestures towards Bullet still in Oleander's hand.
Yeah, perhaps.
And, yeah, I would feel more comfortable if we tended to stay together.
Sounds good. Perhaps we should arrange to meet somewhere later today.
Perhaps.
Ooh, the
How long do
buddy
you think you'll
system.
need
I
at the
love it.
library?
I'm sorry, Zara, what was that?
How long do you think you'll need at the library?
Oh, at least a few hours. I don't have too many things to look into, but they might take some time. I was going to try to look into Gorgoth some more, and a little research into scrying. And I suppose now this. She holds up the bullet.
I think I have an idea who might have been watching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but if you could still do that research, I would appreciate it.
Certainly. I will see what I can find out. If there's anything else, Fenris, you would like us to look for while we are there?
Just perhaps if there are books on Master Willowbreeze's teachings, that would be much appreciated.
I will see if I can find anything.
I'm not expecting you to find anything. Just then, if that is the case, just pick me up some a blank tome for writing and pen and ink.
No problem. I have some to spare, actually.
Danke.
Well, where should we meet? I was thinking it might be a good idea to try to take in a, I don't know, performance? What do you call it? That's the Temple Arcana.
Gladiatorial games, I suppose.
But it will be a event with many people, so it might be a good idea to see, what the crowd is like, or if there is, I don't know, anything else strange going on.
We can meet at the entrance later this afternoon.
I hear they
That
sell
sounds-
something called soft pretzels, and I would like to try one.
I think you will like it. It is not very sugary or anything, so I think you will enjoy it.
Oh, good.
Okay, so y'all, as you're about ready to head out, you see the large form of Ishrigar, the fuzzy half giant, blue skin, white on the ends, kind of walk through, and you know that he's going to be leaving in a day or so. And he walks over, and he says, "Speaking of bullets and guns," and he throws like the Briar News down on the table, and the headline says that the riots in Maywood have finally ended after 6 long days. So he says, well, that is something to look forward to. That could be good, could be bad, who knows.
Do you plan on traveling to Maywood soon?
So you have to.
I
Well,
suppose you do.
I do believe that there not being riots is good news.
It is good news, but who knows the reason why it stopped. Your friend could have died. Who knows? Ishrigar not one to sugarcoat.
Oh,
The article does not give any information. Olander just starts reading anyway, like not even waiting.
There's like no there's like mentions of Soren, but not like his fate. Nobody like, and Ishrigar tells you like nobody will know if he's dead. No one's like foolish enough to go down there and like dig up
Look.
bones, and they don't give a shit. Like he's dead. So, yeah. Ishrigar just goes on. He says, "I find it a little strange that there is no real end to the protest. So it is strange that it just ends out of thin air. They must have got what they wanted somehow."
Perhaps. Or at least that is what the Queen wants the papers to report.
Yes, that is true. That's why I don't really read their articles. Anyways, I will be in town for another day and a half if you need me to. If you need anything from me, I will be around trying to figure out anything on Gorgoth, so...
Oh, thank you. I was going to go look at the Weave Library for similar information. I would be glad to share anything I find, if you do likewise.
Alright, I'll do it my way and you do it your way. And he hands out and he heads out in the direction of the Angry Cat Tavern.
I do not like his way, I can tell.
So y'all split up. Do we want to start with the library crew? So Constance and Oleander, you are going essentially on the map, you are going north into the city deeper. You do pass by the Temple Arcana, which is where the gladiatorial games are going on. It's too early in the morning for them to have really started yet, so there's still like a stillness to the air. Like people are just kind of hushedly talking in their own circles. Nothing too mysterious or anything. It's just early. There's a few breakfast shops open, some fresh baked bread, which is slightly less crispy than Talagas. You can pick up for copper and just walk by if you ever want it. And so you continue up to the north, and you, oops, I had your little token in the wrong spot. So you continue up to the north, and you find the scholarly library is way over here. And it's essentially a school as well. It's a school of the Weave. It's actually one of the first schools of the Weave to be in existence. They have existed for a long time, but only recently decided to start sharing their, well, gifts, I guess, knowledge. So you find the Order of the Weave school, just simply put as that. And you walk inside, and it's just this brilliant, brilliant library. It's probably not the greatest library you've ever seen, Oleander, but it will suffice, I guess. There are several librarians around, kind of willing books down from the shelves without touching them, and it's just this, it's immediately, both of you, since you're both somewhat magically inclined, a little bit at least, you both just get this like feeling of like essence here. It's really interesting. It feels like you are at the birthplace of magic. It's just a really strange feeling. There's just like raw power in these halls. And you can kind of walk up and walk around wherever you'd like to here.
Well, what exactly are we looking for?
I was hoping to do some research on scrying. I'm not too familiar with divination magic. Zara has some concern that perhaps we are being watched. So that might be a start, but also, of course, anything about Gorgoth we need to learn about. I would like to research that bullet a bit.
Understandable.
Is there anything you would like to look up, Constance?
I do not believe so, though perhaps I will check out a few books on the local culture.
That would be handy to know, actually. I have actually never truly left Run that much before joining you all, so...
Oh, I had also never left home.
I understand. Where exactly is the Eternal Trust, by the way? Is it far?
Alex, you're gonna have to help me out here.
Yeah, no worries.
Eternal Trust is...
I don't
No,
know.
it's on the... Eternal Trust is on the same map, on the big map, or on the main map. Eternal Trust, if you're up here at Briar, at the top corner, it's
Oh,
south.
I see it, yeah.
It's south across the lake,
Over
in the middle
here.
of a swamp, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, like across the lake from Maywood, kind of.
Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
could sail to Eternal Trust from Maywood in a day.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, so
not
that is pretty
even.
close, actually.
That's
It's
like
not-
probably where
yeah,
a
it's-
lot of business happens.
Yeah, that's why yeah, because you go to Swifthold, you go to Maywood, you got all these places that Eternal Trust can trade with.
Cool.
So yeah, I'll essentially regurgitate that
Yeah.
that we're hop, skip, and a jump away from Maywood.
Oh, so perhaps sometime while we are in the area, we could stop by and visit if you would like. I'm
Oh,
sure you must miss your home.
that would be so lovely. Mother Superior would be so excited to meet so many more clairvoyants. We thought we were the only ones.
Just you and her? There are no others in your home town?
Unfortunately,
Oh.
no, not yet. Though many of them are trying to obtain clairvoyance.
Like the priestess we helped the other day?
Well, I suppose I had never thought about it quite like that. We do rigorous study and self-improvement and like lots and lots of work.
Is that how you learn so many different languages?
Oh, yes, I train every day.
That is very impressive. I only know a few myself, and they are pretty much just local things for me.
Well, everybody at Eternal Trust gets to specialize. We have farmers, we have weavers, we have spinners, we have merchants, and it gives them all a new lease on life.
And your specialty is?
Savior.
It's a very niche field.
Well, there are only 2 of us. Or so we thought.
You and this Mother Superior?
Yes.
I would be very interested to meet her one day.
Oh, I would love that so much.
You know, I keep meaning to ask you, Constance. There was a time not too long ago that you asked me what my favorite color was, and I never asked you yours.
Oh, I had not thought about it until I had been asked for the very first time, and then I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I've come to decide that I really like the color green.
Green, that is a very lovely color.
I mean, it is everywhere in nature.
Is this true? You enjoy nature then?
Well, I do enjoy being outside.
Is that part of your training? I understand you did a lot of physical training. I'm sorry to, sort of interrogate you, so to speak, but I am just very curious about what sort of studies and practices you did at the Eternal Trust.
Oh, well, it depended on the day. Some days would be martial training, some days would be language training, some days would be clairvoyant training. And she just starts listing off, like, it's essentially like she lived at a boarding school or something.
Right. Elena is honestly digging that because she's a huge fucking nerd. So I feel like we don't necessarily have to talk it out, but I feel like she'd ask you a lot about like what curriculums you had and like what, like, you know, your sort of like grade system was like and all of that sort of like really boring academic like nitty-gritty stuff.
But then, you know, there would be some other days where it would be medical training, and those were very unusual days, but I did learn some helpful things like how to treat wounds and do first aid.
This is very useful indeed. I don't really know too much of that myself, so I'm glad to be traveling with people who do.
Though I am not nearly as good as healing as Azara is, of course.
Well, she is quite excellent, but Constance, you have certainly saved my life a number of times already, so don't be too hard on yourself.
Well, we all work together during battle.
It's true, it has been nice, actually, to know that, you and the others have my back.
Well, of course, we are a caravan.
Indeed, we are. Well, we should probably get to hitting these books, yeah?
Sure. Would you like me to get any for you? I know they're kind of high up.
Oh, that shouldn't be too much of a problem here, at least. And she can mage hand things.
Nice.
You might notice, though, that Oleander looks kind of jealous at the other, like, wizards and stuff in the library who were doing other
Just like
spells and
missionary.
whatnot. You know, spells that don't involve dead, severed-looking arcane hands. Yeah, because even her like wizard, her handful of wizard spells look creepy now.
Aw.
Remind me to tell you about the book I'm reading after this. Very Oleander-esque.
Oh, I need it.
So, speaking of jealousy about wizards, so as you're kind of standing there, in walks, and you're still, the two of you are having this conversation by probably one of the like front tables because you haven't gotten like that far into the research yet. So as you're pulling your first few books and kind of just like scouring through the system a little bit, in walks this just breathtaking woman. She has like this grayish purple skin, and she has like long white hair all the way to the floor. She has like 3 suitcases that are like basically floating behind her as if she had just traveled from somewhere. She's wearing a coat, even though it's not that cold in this city. It is like, she's obviously not used to the temperatures. And she just has these like glowing purple eyes that are just like staring straight through you, even though she's not even looking in your direction at all. In fact, she would not look in your direction at all. And so she just walks straight up to the counter. And the secretary he kind of has his head down in some books and he's reading, and then he's like, "Yep, how can I help you?" And he's not really paying her any mind, and she just like clears her throat, and he looks up and he's like, "Oh my goodness, I am so sorry, ma'am. Let me show you to your room. They'll be all happy to see you here." And Oleander, if you want to do specifically a lore knowledge check on this.
Hell yeah, I
individual,
do.
Constance, you can as well, but
I mean, I wouldn't know.
it'll be harder. Yeah,
Ooh,
it'll be a harder
it's
check for
appropriate.
Constance.
That's only an 18.
18. So this is a pretty famous person, so an 18 will do it. This is Archmagus Elise Emotai. She is one of the oldest members of the Weave. The only reason she isn't like the, I don't know what to call it, like principal professional person of the person in charge of the Weave is because she's denied it several times. So she doesn't want the seat, but everyone gives her a lot of reverence because, again, she is a dark elf and she is very old. So she's been around a while.
It was Elise. What was her last name?
Emotai, E-M-O-T-I. So yeah, that's her, and she just kind of brushes by, walks up. The rest of you know her from AB as well, just to.
Right, I thought her description was familiar.
Yeah, she was at the end.
Yeah.
Just for more meta stuff, she was the first weaver. Anyways, so she continues to walk up the stairs, and you hear like, "Ah, my old friend," as she like finally speaks a word, and you see like half a hug around the corner as she like disappears. So yeah, she's in town. So yeah, we can look for books now. You're looking for which one you want to look for first?
I have scrying on my list first, so I'll just start with it.
Okay. So are you looking by yourself? Are you asking for one of the employees' assistants? What's the strategy?
Oleander is, I think, way too stubborn to ask for another librarian's assistance in a library right now. So she's going to try to look herself, at least for this first search.
Sure. So what you come across, you don't really have to roll for this because it's kind of more general knowledge. So what you come across is a book on magical artifacts, essentially. It takes you a while and you can't really find much on scrying itself. And then you find a book and you scroll through and you find the scrying section. And this is what your search yields you. Let me find it. Now I have to pass my check. There it is. So you find a short passage about halfway down in like the margin. Like it's written by someone who wasn't the author of this book. It's like in ink, like quill ink. It says, "The ability to see people across distances and time has changed throughout time. In fact, throughout the natural progression of the Weave's magical gift, scrying is almost solely done through objects and is rarely taught or innately learned as a spell. It's entirely possible that those scrying can also hear the other party during their scry."
Okay.
So, and then it goes on to describe scrying as the act of seeing somebody across space.
Okay. All right. Lander would want to try to see if she can like more specifically find if there's a way to sort of like track it, like see where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
She'll ask someone if she needs to.
Okay. Give me
But
roll
she's
roll like an intelligence like search check, something like that.
I use freaking nerd.
Yeah, absolutely. You're a freaking nerd, so
17.
that's nerdy enough. So you're able to kind of navigate across the library to another section about just like basic spells that people of the Weave learn. And there is a method to track it. If you want to there's a scroll checkout essentially at the front desk where it says like number of scrolls available, and it says like 2 tracking spells essentially that you could check out.
Ooh, yeah, I want to do that.
So you head over to the front desk where that man is recovering from his slight embarrassment of being rude to Elisa Botai. He's like just super attentive. He's like, "Oh, hi, yeah, how can I help you?"
Oh, yes, I was just looking to check out. I don't know if you have a limit, but 1 or perhaps both of these tracking spells.
Oh, sure, of course. And he goes and he rummages down below the scrolls for a little bit. You feel you can kind of see like a few like rolling over each other, a few pieces of parchment. He grabs one out and he lays it out. He's like, I have this one. We can give you both if you really need to. And he gives you the other one. He's like, all you have to do is just sign your name out and return it within 48 hours. And he just gives you this big like silly smile.
I have actually not used one of these. Would you be able to walk me through the process?
Oh yeah, of course. And he comes out from behind his desk and he gets out like his little focus. It's just a little amulet and he hangs it around his neck. And he's like, all right, so this is how you're gonna do it. It's much like a normal scroll, but essentially the weave has made a process where the ink doesn't go away when the scroll is read. So here, and he goes through and he reads it and he's like, well, it would have worked if someone was scrying on me, but you get the point. And it's very much like one extra step to make sure that the ink doesn't disappear from the scroll.
Okay, see, that's why she was like, oh, I guess I need both of them, because she just doesn't even know that. Like,
yep.
You know, the Oprix Academy keeps things, they don't give artifacts out.
Yeah, the weave is more about spreading magic as far as it can go. So
we archive it.
Yep, he's happy to hand you one of the scrolls, and if you want both, he'll give you both too.
Nah, she'll just take the one then, and we'll sign her name.
I love that Everencia has a public library system. It makes me so happy.
It's wonderful.
It's amazing.
We have a lot of things here.
Run by like some of the most powerful mages in the world. Just like, yeah, here's your scrying spell.
Here's Finger of Death.
Yep.
Just like, do they
fun.
have late fees? That's the only.
Absolutely.
I guess we'll
sure.
find out in 48 hours.
Look, Oleander takes returning things to the library very seriously.
Oh, I am sure. I am sure.
Damn book jockeys.
Does Oleander sign Fair's actual name?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got that name, and he as you sign with the quill, it's like purple ink, and it has like a slight like shimmer to it. And as it signs, it like instantly dries, and he just like not aggressively, just like slams the book shut and puts it back under the table. He's like, all right, we'll see you in 48 hours then.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. So what else needs to be done at the old library?
Does Constance find any books on the local culture?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
You can definitely find books on the local culture. So you get like a background history about Briar a little bit as well.
Okay.
So the current Lord Briar, his name is Leon. His father, who is not listed by name, strangely, just says Lord Briar. Doesn't say his first name anywhere, but it makes a distinguishment in the book between which one they're talking about through context. And so the first Lord Briar came, established the city, didn't really do a great job, basically. So then when he was killed in battle, his son Leon, at the age of 18, took over. And he's been doing a great job ever since, aligning himself with powers that be, like Maywood and Garamore to the northwest, I guess, and all these other larger cities in the area of Albion's Reach. So custom in general, I guess, are you looking for like quirks of the custom, or just like what's the fashion trends here?
Yeah, like what are the local like traditions? Do they have do they have stuff that they do when they greet each other, like,
Sure.
stuff like that?
Yeah. So they don't have like a specific greeting. Typically it's whatever god they subscribe to. You say, may Philo watch over you, stuff like that. Very traditional stuff. This town is pretty old. So
they say their own god, or they say the other person's god if they know it?
They say their own god. So
Okay.
whoever they think is watching over people, they would say that to the person.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so like Fenris would say, may Marlfax watch over you, even if they don't subscribe to Marlfax.
Yeah.
And then they also, the biggest thing you read about is like there's like this huge section of this like tourist trap book carved out for the Temple Arcana and the gladiatorial like combat ring. It has become their culture to an extent. Like it's obviously there's other things, but like it is the thing Briar is on the map for.
I want to
And
check
it is
that
like the
book out.
oldest thing.
I want to check
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
book out.
Sure. Yeah, so you go back up to Malcolm,
It's
the
just
secretary.
like top 50 things to do while in
Yeah,
Briar.
that's all it is. Talagast's shop is like number 50. So he gladly gives it to you, slides it across the table, and we can go over 50 ways if you want.
Signs it, Constance of Eternal Trust.
Beautiful. Glimmers and shuts easily enough.
Nice.
All right, so let's go over to the other crew, and then we'll head back to the library for more in-depth researching. So Fenris and Azara, the two of you are taken to the streets, yeah?
Yep.
Anywhere you want to go, or any type of building you want to look at in particular, or just kind of browsing?
I mean, my plan is literally just to wander around the city and see if anything strikes my fancy and like eavesdrop on people, see what's up.
Yeah,
I will
absolutely.
do the
People
same.
watch.
I will just like follow Azara, and we'll probably have that moment where it's like, that awkward moment where it's like, wait, where are you going? I don't know. I was following you. Well, I was following you.
So there are obviously, it's a large city. There's a lot of really interesting little shops, and you see like an antique shop. There's quite a few people kind of like, they're not in the shop, but they're around the shop. There's also an art gallery. There's a nice art gallery. This seems to be kind of the more, I don't know, fancier end of town. Like it's not like a shitty tavern. It's like, the art place, and I don't know.
where all the what's the word, the NIMBYs hang out.
Sure.
Is that where
I
all
don't
the where Montgomery Ward lives and sues you if you
Yeah.
try to erect a building in the local park?
Yep. So you're around there. You're walking by. You see the gem store that Talagast mentioned was robbed a day ago. It's closed right now. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then as you get to the end of that corner, you see the original Yes, We've Opened. And it is just this fucking huge building in the shape of a basket now.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing looks like a big basket, and there's like a magical like TV screen out front basically playing the old ad of the Wrong Turns from like 35 years ago.
Oh my god.
And just these terrible actors who look nothing like the Wrong Turns, but they have like makeup done and stuff to kind of look like them. And so that's going on.
Please tell me that whoever they hired for Blossom is just like a human wearing like cat ears.
King Jax has to be a Felper, and Blossom needs to be.
And Adrian is just played by a big ass, like basically the
dude.
settings equivalent of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, and she would want it no other way.
I am Shield Mom, yeah.
So that's playing out front. The interesting thing that both of you notice is you've heard about this like place and its importance in the city basically and how she got her start, but there's nobody in there. It's a ghost town and it's open.
That seems weird.
Yeah, I thought this place was supposed to be like the
Sanders.
place to shop in Briar.
Should we go in?
Unfortunately, I think so.
Okay. I guess we go in.
So you go in, you're not greeted by Nance. In fact, there is it's a beautiful shop. I mean, there's centerpieces everywhere. There's like glass cases around some of the more magically inclined basket. It looks like a modern day jewelry store, the security levels that she's taken on this place. Some of the less valuable baskets, just the normal woven baskets, are like just kind of splayed out like you'd see at any store that you go to nowadays on like wooden tables around. But some of the more expensive stuff, you can feel the transition as you walk through the room to like, okay, I don't want to touch anything now, like I'm gonna pay for it. And so there's this small kobold man behind the desk. He can barely see over it. You just see his eyes and his little horns. And he just these yellow eyes staring at you. He has a monocle on one eye, and he has this very fancy suit that has seen better days. There's rips and tears across the sleeves. And yeah, that's him. And he says,
I must
"Oh,
protect
hello,
him."
welcome." As soon as you come in, he's so excited, and he like jumps up onto the desk so you can see the full like view of him.
Hello.
Greetings.
Welcome. If you're looking for a basket, you're in the right place. May I show you around? And he jumps off the table, and he's instantly giving you sleazy salesman.
Oh no!
Actually, I was wondering if we might be able to ask you a couple of questions unrelated to baskets.
He kind of deflates a little bit, but doesn't get angry or anything. He's like, "Yes, sure. You look to be new in town, so I'd be happy to help."
We are.
We are.
We've heard there's some.
Weave. Nice.
There are some strange things happening in this city. People's tempers flaring for no apparent reason. And I mean, this place is supposed to be an icon of the city. It's famous and it's empty.
He gets a little, you can see him like want to get defensive, and then he's like, you're right. And he's like, yes, well, it may be candid. And he like goes over and he kind of like peers out the door a little bit, making sure nobody's really around. It's like, well, this place, typically the sentiment is that you give one of Nance's baskets to someone you love. And the negative feelings of Briar lately have made people not really cherish their loved ones anymore. So there's no baskets to be sold.
I see. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, so basically a little while ago, people just started getting really upset with one another and hasn't really bounced back, I suppose.
Did you notice anywhere in the city that seemed to be the epicenter of the issue, or did it hit everywhere at once?
Well, I noticed that it was kind of in the lower district here, around the temple, if you will. Just around, not because of the temple maybe, but just around it. And people just got so angry, and I won't lie, I haven't been immune to it myself. I felt strange. I haven't liked hanging out with the same people that I typically have. And so now I just want to go home and be by myself.
Huh.
I can sympathize with that.
Is there anything in particular that seems to set you off?
Well, my friend, I work in retail, so quite a lot, but...
Well, but you must be an expert at keeping a level head, dealing with so many ordinary customers now.
You see, I used to be. But now I find myself halfway through a sale, I find myself just, why am I doing this? And I just stop. I don't care at all about it.
So, is it anger or apathy?
Maybe it's different for different folks. As like he no sooner gets this out of his mouth as you see somebody like come out from the back with a box, and he's like, "Hey Montgomery, where you want this shit?" And he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And he just turns around and he's like, "Sorry about that. I've been really on edge lately." And he's just like looking at this like big half orc who's stumbled in the back. He's restocking. Like, you could just put it down there, dear. Thank you so much.
Huh.
Well, I was taught that everyone's anger manifests differently than each other's. So, could make sense why apathy might be attributed to anger as well, as Azara has pointed out.
Did anything strange happen in or around the city, particularly the lower district, when all this began? Anything new?
Outside of the chaos storms that hit, not a lot.
Was there any investigation ever done into the cause of these chaos storms?
The Stormbirds came through. They took a look, but I think they're still in town, actually. They've kept one posted here since.
looks towards Azara like, we're going there next.
You'll be hard
Solemn
pressed to get in
nod.
there. I think he's stationed inside of the kingdom, or the castle.
Well,
The keep, rather. I guess they call it a keep, whatever.
my compatriots can be quite convincing.
Speaking of that, you want to buy a basket for your compatriots? And he just like slowly, like he like tugs the side of Fenris's pants over to the nicer cases.
All right, fine, but not one of these in these cases. I'll buy one from the frontier.
They're actually pretty affordable. We have this payment option where you
You
just pay
know
a little
what?
bit from. All right.
I've heard about these payment options. I am very hard. I just made a very large investment into a drake, so I'm a bit strapped for cash at the moment. But I will gladly purchase. Zara, Constance would appreciate a nice basket, don't you think?
Constance would appreciate a basket.
So it's settled. We will purchase one basket.
Well, hold on. How much money do we have?
Shay.
Oleander forgot to give you an allowance before we split
Oh,
up.
and yeah, these are
much-
quality baskets, people.
How much money do you have, Fenris?
Oh, I spent most of it on the drake, remember?
Yeah, I do.
Look,
That's why I asked.
Kipper is a very good boy. Do not-
Yes.
I have 110 silver pieces to work
Oh.
with here.
You've got loads of options, and he continues.
no.
He continues pulling the side of his pocket over, just unless you're resisting, you just kind of stumble behind him awkwardly.
Sir, my compatriot and I, we do have business to attend to, so I will purchase whatever the median option is for the adventurer on the go today.
Well, tell me about this person. Are
Don't
they a
know,
loved
man.
one?
I wouldn't go as far as to say that.
Well, then why did you pick this person in particular?
It seemed like she would appreciate a nice basket. I don't know. She's
Gotcha.
She's had a rough past few weeks, I think, and her cheerful demeanor hides that well. And I want to let her know that we, the Emerald Caravan, are thinking about her.
Ah, the whole group. All right. He winks under his monocle to Azara and walks over behind the
Azara
counter.
does
He heads you over to this basket, and it's just a nice wicker basket, just brown wicker, kind of molded up in the center, just the classic handle on the top, and it has these fine little periwinkle bows inside of all the wicker, kind of.
Well, this is
stitched in.
perfect. Wouldn't you say so, Azara?
It's lovely.
How much for the basket, my good kobold?
Well, this one's 25 silver, but again, that payment plan option is always there.
I will pay. Tell you what, since you've been such a great salesman and very helpful, I will pay you a full 50, and we don't talk about the payment plan to any customers ever again.
Well, I'll take the 50, but I can't quite agree to that. I get paid by commission here, friend.
Would like to speak to this nonce then, but fine. Here's 50 silver for your trouble. Much appreciated.
My goodness, very generous. And he puts it in his front little pocket, and he slips all the coins in there. And as you watch his pocket fill up, you notice that it's vanishing as he puts it in his pocket. His pocket doesn't get full of silver coins; it just goes somewhere else.
Good sir. What are you doing with the silver? Is this some sort of ploy?
Oh no, it's security. Goes right to my bank.
Wait, they make those things now?
It's very nice, very nice. No
Oh,
bandits robbing you in the street when Montgomery's on his way home. None of that. They know I'm the top salesman here, so they post out front. Wait.
well, it's less the bandit. It's just gold weighs a shite ton.
Oh, also true.
So-
All right,
Why would one
and for you,
purchase
miss.
such a thing?
Where would one purchase? There is a bank down the road. It's yet to be named. It's still under construction. I was the first prototype, and he stands up all straight and proud of himself.
Let
That's
me
very impressive.
Let me guess, you're gonna try and sell us monkey portraits over at the art gallery too next, huh?
I
that-
apologize for my colleague.
That's okay. That's Schwartz's job. He's fantastic. Lovely half-orc fellow. He runs the art gallery over there. He would love to sell you a monkey portrait.
I was making a joke.
Oh, well, he actually has some of those. Oh, it's a very on-the-nose joke.
Oh.
I
well,
don't need any baskets, thank you.
this
No loved
basket's
one.
lovely. Izara loves nobody. Thank you for your time, and just leaves.
She's been in the city far too long. Then.
Thank you for your time.
Well, maybe someday, Miss, you'll need a basket, but we'll be here.
Maybe.
As you get out of the shop, Fenris is like, "Look, I'm sorry. I panicked. I didn't know what else to say."
Panicked.
It's fine.
I don't know what happened. He started trying to sell me on the payment plan, and
No, Fenris, it's really fine.
So as you two walk out, you do see like 3 rough and tumble looking bandits. Like they look at you and they get sad when it's you two walking out instead of Montgomery.
There's a lance that's like taller than I am on my back. Like,
Oh yeah, they're not touching you guys. They're like one of them's like doing the bat thing where he's just hitting his hand with the bat and he just looks away and like drops the bat when you two walk out.
yeah, like Fenris will
make
give
your
him like a
life
little.
choices.
One of them just goes, "Hey," and he just like puts his hands up. All right, we'll head back to the library crew before they get into trouble. So what else are we looking for at the library?
So this travel guide says that stop number 3 should be yes, we've opened.
Well, I don't really know what we would do with baskets, but if you would like, Constance, I'm sure we could make a pit stop.
But it is stop number 3.
But sure, we can stop by later. I'm sure.
Okay. Well, now that we have our books, what was our plan now?
I actually still have a little bit more to look into. If you would like to help me, actually.
Okay.
We needed to look into Gorgoth and this bullet.
Yes.
Perhaps I
Well-
should look into the latter. If you would mind looking into Gorgoth.
Sure.
Or did you have a different idea? I did not mean to interrupt.
No, I was going to ask which you would prefer to do.
I mean, I don't really look forward to researching this, but it feels kind of personal.
Fair enough. I shall. Where would I find it in the Dewey Decimal System?
I take her over to the card catalog.
I mean, flippity flip.
So as you're like looking like under the buzzwords around Gorgoth, you like flip through the pages and you don't really see many mentions about Gorgoth until you finally find one book. The title of said book is Scourges on the Plain. And it's this like old beat up handbook. It's almost like adventurers past have used this as like their Bible out adventuring of like things to steer fucking clear of and
Oh.
things.
That is good knowledge to have.
And you flip to the G's, and there is a passage. I believe Alex already kind of read this to us, but there is a passage on Gorgoth the Wolf of Eden, and it gives his little background about a century ago, a humble-natured cleric of Lorelei became infected with lycanthropy and became a scourge upon Shiverdelve and the surrounding contested territories. It goes on to talk about, the importance of Saint Asgabel and the helmet that you all now own. So you have that. So it kind of gives you a background on that. Then it has like recent whereabouts, and it has a stamp of the year we're in. I don't know what year we're in, but it has like a stamp from some adventurer, like a little stamp right there of the year.
2S 1871.
That one. That's the stamp. And it says Shiverdelve next to it. So as of this year, he was spotted in Shiverdelve.
Got it. All right. Cool. Take that book. Anything else that's specifically about Gorgoth?
I will say, Constance, go ahead and make like some sort of magical intelligence, wisdom check, something. Either one of those works.
Let's do intelligence. Can I add magical anime paladin?
Definitely, yeah.
Yes. All right, 12.
Okay. So you can't, like, with a 12, you notice something is off about this book, but you can't quite figure out what it is. Like in the like the spine of the book, as the pages get closer towards the spine, they meet together in like a strange way, almost as if they're like covering something. It's weird. Like you flip through and there's like an imprint on the back of each page, but there's nothing there. So you notice something's awry. You can't quite figure out what's going on, but you at least know something's off.
Don't like that.
But that is the only book you find that mentions this scourge on the world.
Okay. Real quick, out of game stuff, could someone make sure that there is audio coming through in Twitch? Because
Yeah, give me like one hot sec.
yeah, I don't know if it is. Slob's kind of freaked out on me.
Yeah, we're still getting audio.
Right now I've got it, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's coming through right now.
Yeah, we'll just have to hop off real quick at break.
It's all good.
Yeah, so like when we go to break, the screen will go down, but don't go anywhere because we're
Yeah.
just fixing stuff.
So you get that. You have this weird book where something's off. Some like phantom imprints are on the pages, and then Oleander. So you were looking for bullet stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna refer to Alex here. Alex, do
You
you
had
think that the weave would have something on this?
Probably actually in that book,
Same
with
book.
the beat up adventurers.
The
Bible.
same one?
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Two
Flipping
for one.
through, yeah. Speaking of creatures like Gorgoth, and when they appear, you find a section about fiends, and there's a specific section describing covenants of service. The Warden of the Damned can essentially go to devils and demons, and they can say, I will offer my service as a cosmic bounty hunter in exchange for a better sentence. And so these fiends often get sent out after individuals who try to cheat death or achieve immortality. That's usually what they go out to do.
And Constance, excited that she found the answer in her book, will run excitedly over to Oleander.
Yeah, and then also there's just a whole passage about like, yeah, mortals thought they were clever when they made the firearm. Oops, we introduced it to the gods.
Look, Oleander, I have found a passage.
Oh, really? That is great because I'm not having any luck right now.
Yes, I found it on complete accident.
Oh,
This is a very
wonderful.
helpful book. It says where to not go and people to not be involved with.
And you found information about this in there. Wonderful.
Oh. Yes, I suppose when you say it like that.
I mean, that is okay. I did not exactly expect to find any good news about being given a bullet with my name on it, so... You know, context did not really indicate that would be great for me.
Yeah, I suppose not. Well, here it is this. And she'll, like, put it down. Just
Yeah, Elena will
gingerly. Here you
read
go.
through. I think you just sort of like see her face fall more and more, and then
Back
She
away
finishes?
slowly.
yeah, she actually just after she finishes, she looks angry and annoyed, and she just sort of slams the book down. She's like, "Well, that's just bullshit."
Oh, did I not find the right thing? I am so sorry.
Oh no, Constance, I'm sorry. You did not do anything wrong. It's just seems that I thought that the prices I have already paid for coming back would be enough, but apparently they were not, and that sucks. I don't know what else to say. It's not fair.
Well, what else are you meant to do?
About this?
Well, yes, if it is not enough, what more is there to do?
I don't think there is anything to do.
Well, if they
I,
do not have the bullet, they cannot technically shoot you.
I'm sure that whoever had this has more than one bullet.
Oh, I suppose that's true.
But
As you two are having this conversation, you don't hear footsteps or anything, but you just hear a voice, like maybe 2 feet. That's a little close. Maybe like 5 feet behind you. Just say, If I had a silver coin every time I've seen an adventurer slam that cover shut in that book. And behind you, you see the woman Elisa Motai who walked in before at the beginning of your time at the library.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry if we were making too much noise.
Didn't bother me at all, but I did notice the discouragement on your face, and I did want to come over and say, don't trust everything you read in the covers of that book. What some people define as scourges, other people define as helpful beings.
I appreciate that very much. I'm not sure how much it will apply in this particular case, but
It's all about which ones you can befriend and which ones you can't, and the connections you make. And she just gives you this like dazzling smile. You see that her two like canine teeth are both in a point.
Leonard sort of politely smiles back. I think just because this is also a very powerful wizard, Oleander is kind of in awe and like fangirling silently, just like, you're strong.
Constance is
You know
immediately
magic.
like, oh, you're a local? Which of these places should we visit first?
She takes a look, just like she walks past you, like seemingly all high and mighty, and then she like comes back. She's like, "The bread bowls here are fantastic," and she touches like number 15, and it's the Rusty Revenant Tavern.
Yes! Constance like pulls out another scrap of paper and writes that down.
As you just like watch her walk away, as the fangirl moment is going on, she just like the way she carries herself, people just like, she doesn't move, but people move out of her way. Like she doesn't adjust her path, and
Amazing.
people just like kind of parch for her.
She's just a bulldozer.
Seriously,
You
when
love
she's
to see
well
it.
out of earshot, you're just like, oh, fucking goals. Okay. We should probably go meet the others.
Oh, yes, very good. We are going to see the gladiator fight, yes?
Oh, yeah, should be interesting.
It was number 1 on the list.
Oh, number 1. Well, then we certainly seems we would be missing out if we did not attend.
Yay! And can we get bread bowls on the way?
Sure, Constance, you can describe it to me.
Yay!
So, just Fenris and Azara, is there anything else you wanted to do before you met up? You can, I mean, it's totally fine, but
And just poke around the lower districts, see what we can find.
Yeah, and just chat on the way.
yeah, go for it. I mean, I'll just describe quick, and then y'all can have any conversation you'd like, but you're kind of poking around. There's like a lot of like younger, not young, but like teenage kids here, like milling about, and you get the sense that a lot of them are attending the academy to like pursue their magical gifts. And they're just kind of like milling about, just like shooting off like charms and cantrips down alleys at each other, and just kind
God.
of like fucking around.
Delinquent wizard
it.
juveniles. I love it.
it.
This is what I play Chris games for.
Yes.
They act all tough when you get near them, and then they back down as soon as you like snarl at them or make any movement towards them. They just kind of like, whoa, man, take it easy. They just like back down the alleys a little bit, and so they're just kind of, fucking around. And as you kind of move forward, like as you move past like the alley of like people flinging charms at each other, it does strike you that that's a little fucked up. Like they're hurting each other for fun in the back alley.
It's like
and it
shooting
kinda,
like Roman candles at each other.
Yeah.
Like why?
and it kind of clicks, like maybe that wasn't normal behavior, even if they are like, high school or college students.
Azara, I have spent much of my time before mine exile helping around an orphanage. This is not normal behavior for children.
Is it no?
At least how violent they are being towards each other, and the lack of compassion for injuring their fellow playmates. It's concerning.
Well, I'll take your word for it. It did seem like a lot, but I'm not really a reliable source for normal childhoods.
I mean, I'm not much either, but, you said you grew up in Bright Star 9?
Yes, I did.
What was that like?
Lonely.
Really? You're surrounded by everyone who thinks the same way you do, who would agree with you on all manners of ideology and philosophy, and you found yourself lonely.
Just because we all believe in the same God doesn't mean we all think the same. I was Abba Song's personal student, and more than that, I was clairvoyant. I was chosen.
Ah,
I didn't do a lot of socializing. I had books to study and combat to learn.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's not a proper childhood. I grew up a Dreadborn in Covis.
I don't imagine that was any better.
Well, it wasn't as bad as that. I can say I wasn't lonely as a child.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm sorry to hear you've had a lonely experience in life so far. I can tell you, being alone is not pleasant.
No, it isn't.
But you've got me now. I don't have any plans on going anywhere, especially as long as Oleander's sticking around. I made an oath long ago.
Thank you, Fenris.
No, thank you, Izara. You were there for me at my loneliest and at the peak of despair. I wanted to express my appreciation for your aid in helping me carry on.
I'm glad I could help, however much I did. I'm afraid I wasn't especially kind to you when you were hurting.
It's okay. You lived through it too. And judging from what I've been told about your previous exploits before arriving in Shiverdelve, it wasn't easy for you, especially considering I read the news. So, you were right, though. Amaranth would not have wanted me wallowing in pity and self-misery, because that's only stagnation, and that allows Lycus to fester.
Well, I'm glad you seem to have found some motivation to keep moving.
I suppose we could call it that. What motivates you, Izara? What motivates you to go out of your way to help an enclave such as mine, social outcasts, already deemed doomed by the society they try to live with?
This may sound naive, but I help people because it's right. Because I was a lonely kid and I grew up on stories of heroes helping at expense of themselves for nothing in return, and I wished that there had been somebody to do that for me, and I don't know, I never want to walk away from somebody who's hurting. Not if I can help them.
That's very admirable. I also grew up on stories of heroism and self-sacrifice. You should meet my Palma someday. You would really like the stories that they have to tell.
I would be honored.
Perhaps if I ever return home to Weidenhaven, we can visit.
I'd like that.
And Izara, if you ever find yourself in need of aid, or for someone to be there when no one else will, you have me, and you have your caravan now.
Thank you, Fenris. That means a lot. And if I can ever help you, I'm here.
I know you are. I don't question that, and I appreciate it.
It's getting late. We should meet the others.
Ah, shites, you're right. I was too busy thinking about those delinquent wizard kids. And he just starts like cursing in higher gothic, just like shites.
So as you two groups meet up in the intersection, bread bowls in hand for those of you who want them, you are greeted by the sound.
I will
of,
have bought some for the rest of the party as well.
Fantastic. So Costas is just carrying like 4 bread bowls. Well, 3, I guess. 3 bread bowls.
Constance just got like the paper bags, and they're like
Yep.
soggy on the bottom from the bread bowls.
The Philly cheesesteak. So as you were passing out bread bowls and saying hi to one another again, you just hear in the distance just this chanting, and like above the pitch of just the normal thrum of the crowd, you do hear several people saying, "Take his head off," and just like other violent chants. And you hear this particularly gruff big guy. You actually see him in the crowd. He says, "Cut him in half."
Yes.
And just everyone's just chanting and just they want death. So basically, just to describe this, there are basically 4 grandstands in this arena. There's like a road through all of them, so you can meet at the central Temple Arcana. Everybody seems to be roped off into these grandstands to sit in, and then there is a little tent on one of the roads, which is basically like the competitor's tent. So the Temple Arcana itself, it has these big onyx pillars that go up in 4 areas on the side where each road is. And then at the top is this big like sapphire jewel, essentially. But it's almost like water or some sort of liquid is inside. As like the competitors battle back and forth, the liquid like sloshes a little bit. It's really strange. And then on every side of these onyx pillars, you can basically see a projection of what is going on inside of the temple, wherever it sends you.
That's so cool.
That is so fucking cool, but like I hate
Extremely
it.
cool.
I've never got to use it. It's always been in the setting. It's always been sitting there.
I'm glad we finally are visiting it.
God, mood
Thanks, I
on
love
a
you.
lot of accounts.
So you watch 2 people kind of finish up in the arena, and they get done, and then the other 2 more people head in, and the first group is just, they're like clearing out like a whole dungeon. The first group, it seems that there are different levels you can sign up at or maybe progress through depending on how many times you've competed. You're not sure the specifics yet. Second, people go in and they just beat the crap out of this like big skeleton looking dude, and that's it, and they win easily. And you see these 2 just strikingly handsome individuals. One of them is a very skinny looking guy. He's got this like pale skin that's almost like wet, and he has like this long black hair, and he has this big black gem in the center of his chest. And then his companion, you can describe them better than I can, Sam. So
Sure. So his companion is sitting in a decked out combat wheelchair, and they have hair that's short and white in the back and long and black in the front. And they're wearing some really beaten up armor and have these massive 2 like battle axes that should be wielded one-handed or two-handed, but they wield them one-handed.
So just to clarify, they were the ones who had cleared out the dungeon. I misspoke. So they're actually a little higher above these people who are just beating the shit out of a skeleton. So they've gotten cheers at this point as they exit together and head towards the tent. People like kind of know their names a little bit and are like cheering for them specifically. It's very like they're a fan of this duo rather than the duo after them. Like they're kind of getting like little sports rivalries.
Groupies.
Yeah.
I too I have been jonesing to rewatch Gladiator, and this is just giving me every reason to go and rewatch Gladiator.
We just watched it the other night, actually.
God, that movie's
Shit
so
on
cool.
Monday.
Actually, not seen it.
Nice.
Are you
That's
not
good.
entertained?
It's the
I was
reason it's a
relatively
classic.
entertained.
It was.
okay.
It was aight.
It was okay.
I guess,
Right.
it was entertaining.
I did not care about any of those characters.
Oh no!
Just saying,
Yeah,
no
fair enough.
investment in
No.
anyone.
No, it's just a great. It's not like the history's it's a bit. It's really
It was fun. I had a lot of fun.
It's fun.
I
All right,
spent
sorry.
an hour and 30 minutes on Monday in a history class debating about Gladiator.
I had to also
Wow.
watch it for a history and
That's
like film
amazing.
class. Yeah, it's a fun one.
I also watched it in college, but it was not for that reason. It was more of a 1 a.m. What do you want to do?
That's a
That
great
sounds about
movie for
right.
that.
Yeah. So the four of you make it into like you're basically ushered up into a grandstand just by the crowd. It's kind of like pushing you up a little bit, unless you want to like try to get out of it. You're just like ushered into a grandstand essentially.
Yeah, well,
Sounds
Oleander
good
Lace
to
will
me.
just sort of go along, try to get like, I guess I want to vibe check the crowd.
Sure.
Like everybody, it's the people are kind of already, obviously like screaming for violence because it's a violent thing, but like does it seem out of hand in any way? Like are there fights breaking out in the stands or, anything weird like that?
Yeah, make just a general like wisdom check, like perception, insight, something like that.
You don't fucking notice shit. Plus level, I think, right? 10.
10. So you notice in the grandstand that you were in, one of the four, you do notice like people kind of pushing and shoving a few rows behind you just over like silly things. Like, no, I'm a bigger fan of the siblings than you are. And they're just kind of like pushing each other. Like
Okay,
this
so
guy
Twitter,
like falls
got
off
it.
the side. Yeah, it's just Twitter.
Okay.
And so that's kind of what you see. And then, there's
this place.
some of the more enthusiastic fans are maybe more violent than Oleander would tend to be. Like the gentleman screaming "cut him in half" from the other side of the stadium that you can hear as if he was right behind you. Yeah, so there's, nobody's like frothing at the mouth, but it is definitely not, I don't know, it's pretty bad. It's American sports.
It's
Yeah, that's what I was like.
it's Ireland in the World Cup. It's Game 7.
Yep.
Right? I'm like, are we talking like, like a Sox riot about to happen or what?
boy.
Like,
Yeah, are we talking
S2U,
Malice at the Palace here?
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Pretty
like looking at Malice at the Palace. Okay, let's get the fuck out.
We've seen those pictures I posted of our youth fest.
Look. I watched. I've seen that doc. Let's get out of here.
It's the U of M game last week. Yeah. So anyways, you have this like terrible visage, and it is, pretty horrifying to the more civil of you, I guess.
Well, even
it's definitely
Fenris is just
something.
kind of like Fenris is very uncomfortable because the whole anger and anxiety feeding off of it from a crowd is making him uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I would like to leave before.
I don't understand how this is fun.
I don't quite get it either, but at least things don't seem out of hand around here. I was kind of concerned that with everything Telegast was saying, there would be like...
This isn't out of
know.
hand. That man is screaming for them to cut someone in half.
I feel like that just has more to do with that guy than anything, though. Leonard's just like looking the guy up and down.
I do not like the aura that I am picking up from this crowd. I really would like to leave.
Oh,
now.
certainly. I'm not saying we need to stay, but I think it was good to check out.
It was good to see. I would not like to come back.
Constance, I will buy you a pretzel on the way out, I promised.
Wonderful.
Oh, Fenris is like so shittily trying to hide this basket for Constance too.
Just like under your coat.
Oh yeah, there's like a bulge in the coat. This oddly basket shaped.
Why are you shedding tissue paper?
Actually, as we're leaving, I'll be like, Oleander, a word. And like pull Oleander aside and be like, Reiner's got Constance a gift. I'm waiting for him to get up the courage to give it to her.
Oh, he did, really? That is interesting. You just see this total shit-eating grin, like, all across Oleander's face now. What did he get?
Basket.
A basket?
From yes, we've opened.
Constance actually really wanted to go there. It
Oh,
was
she'll be thrilled.
in her pamphlet or book, I don't know.
Pamphlet?
I like pull out a copy that I imagine Constance like made Oleander take and like top 15 places to go in Briar. I don't know.
Oh.
This was number 1 though. Just like gesturing at the
This.
no accounting for taste, I suppose.
I don't know why someone would want too much violence for sport, not when people are really in danger.
Well, at least for the people competing, it seems they can get quite a tidy sum of money out of it. For some people, at least, it is worth it for that alone.
I don't like it.
I don't really care for it myself, to be honest, but at least everybody is consenting adults, so, you know, if that is how people want to risk throwing their lives away.
I suppose.
Do you think he's given it to her yet? Oleander's like
don't know.
stretching around now, like trying to, like, I imagine we're sort of like near like one of those pillars at like the bottom or something. Just, like,
Doing like the Scooby-Doo lean.
yeah, Ida at the bottom.
Amazing.
As we're like, I like to imagine Constance is probably munching on a pretzel at this point.
Oh, yes.
And we're like outside. Constance, do
Oh.
you have a moment?
Oh, yes! And her mouth's full, and she's like, did you know they make liquid cheese?
Yes. I cannot have this liquid cheese. It wrecks. Never mind.
To be honest, it doesn't taste quite like cheese.
No, it's not really cheese. It's, as a druid, I know how unnatural that is. You really should not be eating that.
Oh. I shouldn't have eaten the sugar either, but here we are.
Don't get me going on refined sugar. Anyway, that's besides the point. I am not here to. You can look after your own health. You are a capable adult, and you know how your body reacts to such substances such as dairy and cheese. Anyway, so Izara and I were at the Yes We Leave, the original location, and
That was
I thought,
number 3 in my book.
well, you won't have to go because anyway,
Oh.
you don't want to. The kobold salesman is very sleazy. I don't like this Montgomery fellow.
Oh.
But I got you this, and he produces the basket for Constance.
Her eyes like light up all anime sparkles, and she like grabs it and starts inspecting it. The crafts work is magnificent.
You had mentioned that you had done weaving work in Eternal Trust, and since you spent so much time carrying everyone else's bags, I thought maybe it would be nice for you to have something to put all of your belongings into.
Oh, this is lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. You're so nice to everyone else, and I just wanted to do something nice for you.
And Constance will like just throw herself into an unabashed hug at Fenris if he does not like dodge out of the way.
He doesn't dodge, but he definitely just like stands there, like definitely doesn't look towards Oleander and Azara, but definitely looks towards Oleander and Azara, like, oop.
Help! 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 Help!
And then Constance will just get the single arm pat, like from like the wraparound arm, just pat, because Fenris has forgotten how to hug people.
And Constance will like turn around right there and dump out her backpack and start like trying to figure out what's gonna go in this basket.
I didn't think we needed to do this right now. I saw some rather rough-looking bandits who might try and pilfer your belongings, but I'll take them on if they rear their unpleasant faces over here.
Oh, good idea. You keep watch.
Okay. I'm glad you like the basket.
very much. Thank you. Done.
Amazing. Okay. So we continue on. What else? What? I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the chat. What else? What else do you all want to get up to this evening?
Sorry, I'm laughing at you laughing.
I'll tell Oleander and Constance what we learned, that the anger seemed to start in the lower districts after the chaos storms, and that there is still a bird. Yeah, chaos bird. Is that what they're called?
Oh, the storm wings or whatever.
Stormbird. Yes,
Stormbirds, that's it.
still here.
Yeah, and that we want to talk to them too.
Okay.
Fenris also mentioned the wizard kid delinquents.
Okay, so definitely seems like there was some sort of strange behaviors.
Yes, and what have you two learned?
Well, and I'm like trying to remember now what I was even looking up. Oleander will, I think, sort of gesture for Constance to show the book if she wants to, the adventurer's book, with like the info about Gorgoth and also the fiendish contracts and stuff.
Yes, now I do know that I have been showing you this very exciting book all about the exciting sights to see in Briar. However, this other book may be more helpful to us in the long run. It is all about the things that we should not see or do.
Pretty much. It has a little bit of information about Gorgoth, but I do see that it was very recently updated to show the sighting in Shiverdelve, so Bud travels fast.
I suppose. Who's the author?
I don't know, who is the author? Alex.
No, there's no author on this book, and there's no like the title even looks like hastily written.
Okay.
Perhaps this is one of those books that's kind of updated by the adventurers who check it out as a sort of pay it forward type deal.
Perhaps, to be fair, we were told to sort of take everything within it with a grain of salt, but this just sort of matched with the previous information about Gorgoth we had.
I was going to say the stories on Gorgoth are pretty in line with what I've heard.
Which means that if what I found about those bullets is right, not great.
Yeah.
As y'all are flipping through, you can all make intelligence checks about the weird like phantom imprint in the book. Too.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Sorry, I needed to respond to Lucy over here saying, have your source has been properly peer reviewed, the bibliography? And I'm over here like, I have actually put thought into that. Don't try me.
Is this intelligence or wisdom?
Either, I guess.
23 from Oleander.
Would Child of Fae, Devout, or Chosen One help?
Child of Fae probably would.
Excellent. I got a 19.
Okay. Fenris, you rolling or no?
Nah.
Okay. So the two of you, instantly, like as you know, Constance saw, there's like a little imprint on the back of each page. It's just this like little block, and you look at it more closely, and you like kind of trace the outline with your fingertip, and it like glows purple, just like the Weave like sign-in book did with that same glitter. And it says it's asking for a signature, essentially. Like it has a little signature line with an X, like hastily.
Fuck, I am not a robot. Let me in.
Arcane capture.
I swear that's a car.
Click on every tile with an arcane focus visible.
I am guessing this is some sort of course, Fenris will say that once pointed out. This must be some sort of security measure. No.
Perhaps. I'm wary of signing our names into
Me too.
strange glyphs.
As you look at it even closer, all of these pages have this little signature, and some of them actually have a circle after it for like your house like symbol, like pressing a ring into wax and then pressing it into the book.
Fuck.
I wonder if you have to sign this in order to edit it, so they know who's made changes.
Is this book fucking Wikipedia?
Perhaps.
Wikipedia.
Weevipedia.
Weevipedia.
I mean,
love
we
it.
could give it a try, I suppose. Fuck it. Olander will actually like dig into her bag and pull out a very tidily wrapped up like signet ring with the Morgenstern crest on it. Be like, well, let's see if this fucks.
So you do that. You sign. You sign your real name.
Yeah, she's not gonna try to lie to a magic book.
There's no point, right?
Yeah.
You burn a candle for a few moments. Take the wax, nail it on the signet ring, and push it into the book. And it does like a second page essentially sprouts out, which is like more classified information on this creature. And I'm assuming you did it for Gorgoth. Yeah.
That one first, at least. Yeah.
So it goes on to say that Gorgoth is a creature known to spend time in the city of Hex.
Wait. The city Hex?
The city of Hex.
Hex
Okay.
spelled Hex or Hecks?
Oh, Hex.
H-E-X.
No, the reason I'm asking is from those prophecies. Continue, sorry.
Okay.
H-E-X.
Yeah, no, that's from the prophecy shit. Continue,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's a lot of it, and then it says some like notable like people he hangs around essentially. I don't know the good word for that. But then you get this list. Let me pull it up really quick.
The best yet worst thing to hear from the DM. Let me pull that up real quick.
Right.
That's gonna take a minute, so if y'all want to roleplay, go for it. I don't know what I named this stupid thing.
Okay, which
Silly
prophecy
thing.
was that from, and what did it say?
That was mine. Something about a silver pelt. Sam and I were talking about these
Yeah.
yesterday,
It's
actually.
pinned in the it's pinned in
Yeah,
the
it's
cast
pinned.
chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I can read it for chat too.
Oh, sure.
Bitch, white fudge.
Or if you want, I can pull it up while you pull your thing.
Yeah,
up.
somebody read that for chat.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I got him.
Okay.
Where did I?
The party. A smile you will trust, and a fate it will seal. If tomorrow is your goal, silver avoid the feel. For Shaw, a friend's foe is far behind, but your destiny is not yours or your kind's. Fenris, a battle born in blood, and unlike an ally unlikely, a silver pelt to be afraid of. Hex is what you seek. Azara, a
Yeah.
story untold with time to tell, a future stolen and sent to hell. Constance, born of fabric and toil, but a creature did boil. Careful as you continue, don't trust the royal. Oleander, time on a budget, but not your own. Careful where you tread because you are alone.
Super cheery stuff.
Man,
It's
wouldn't
just
be a
like, yeah,
D&D
only at
wouldn't
least.
wouldn't be a 13th age campaign if it was all just happy-go-lucky stuff, right?
Yeah, because we've had so much of that this year.
Okay.
It's been all smiles all the time.
So you get these 9 titles essentially. It doesn't say names, but the first one says the wolf. The second one says the misled. The third one
hold
says
on.
I'll copy it.
Oh, okay.
The
We
third
have
one
Bob.
says the conqueror. The fourth one says the absolved. The fifth one says the vile. The sixth one says the ill-fated. The seventh one says the tyrant. The eighth one says the talent, and the ninth one says the collector. So anyways,
Interesting.
enjoy that. That's fun.
That's a lot of compatriots.
Does the collector ring a bell for anyone else, or am I getting things crossed in my head?
As
you
a
need to tell me where
player,
you're
I
going
don't
with
think
that.
so.
I don't know. I feel like I've heard that before, but it might be from like a book or something.
There's the Marvel character, the collector.
Yeah,
No, it's not Marvel.
Okay.
it doesn't ring a bell to me for like a campaign thing.
I've
Okay,
heard
then
it
it's
in a
something
lot
else.
of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Mass Effect, they're in there too. Collectors. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'd like to figure out where I read it, but I
Yeah.
The wolf makes sense. Oh, the wolf makes sense. I have one guess who the vile could refer to, but we don't want that.
Do you mind sharing that guess? Because I'm frankly at a loss.
Well, you know how I am descended from a dreadlord Lycus, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of his kin is Alcidex, is the Archvile. Potential.
That could make sense. These are the sort of compatriots Gorgoth socializes with, so to speak.
Yes.
Great. Well, this was a fruitful trip to the library once again. Okay, Olander will turn to the pages she found about the contract, the services of contract. or whatever.
Covenants of service.
Yes, thank you. Words. I got some of them in there.
When in doubt, just use that good old Catholic terminology there.
Yeah, because I know so much about that.
Right. Right.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Happy Hanukkah. There, I was looking for it. I was fishing. Got it.
Anyway, yeah, so I'll do the signature and ring thing again on that page. See
Which
if-
one? Sorry.
The fiendish one.
Oh, well, that's Alex, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I figure that's Alex's thing.
If you have any other details, you don't have to, I guess. You
Yeah,
could
it's
just
totally
copy
fine
it.
if it's blank.
The only other detail you would get is a recent inscription from approximately 30 years ago. Should the covenant of service fail, watch out for Omega X.
Oh, great. This is, just getting better.
Getting
and
better.
Elena does the thing again where she just slams the book angrily and gives it back to Constance.
Perhaps we put that book down for the evening, huh?
Okay, and Constance will put it into the basket.
Into the basket.
As right before you shut it, Oleander, your eyes catch one that just says the Phoenix, and there's absolutely no information about them. It's just a random page that has yet to be edited yet.
Interesting.
Just towards the back of the book, nothing, nowhere near Gorgoth or anything, just
Right.
another random.
It's just like a heading.
hmm
Okay.
I'm
Well.
scared.
I'm sure it's fine. Otherwise, that's the library. Azara, I think this would only be helpful for you. The scrolls, I imagine they had to be used by whoever was being scryed on, right, Chris?
I mean, if you were there at the moment of scrying, you could probably do it too.
Okay, Olander will just give it to Azara then, to be safe. And she'll do sort of the same thing to show Azara how she can use it and be like, if you use this the next time you feel like you are being watched, it might enable us to track who is doing it.
Thank you, Oleander. I appreciate this.
No problem. It is taken out from the library for 48 hours, but I'm sure we can just renew it if we need to, if we are here for longer before it happens again.
Good to know.
Has it happened again? Do you mind if I ask?
I think it has, right? It happened after.
It happened last
Yeah.
night. Yeah, that was the cliffhanger last week.
Last night.
Oh,
That's when I think I figured out who it was, but I'd like to make sure.
okay. Well, it sounds like at this rate that's been almost nightly, so maybe we won't have to wait too long.
Yes, hopefully.
Well, is there anything else that's we had to do today? I know Talagast had given us some other people who are having issues in the city we could go to see. Maybe we could get more information, but I suppose it is kind of late now.
Perhaps rest is in order.
I agree.
Perhaps he will have some, I don't know, local news when we get back to the house anyway.
Well, perhaps he can give some more insight about what we witnessed at that stadium.
Don't know if there's much more insight to be had.
True.
Uncouth blood sport.
Okay,
Well.
so you wind your way back to Talagas' house. It is pretty accurate that it's probably like dinner time at this point because this is a huge city. Like it takes a while just to navigate, frankly. And so Kipper can help out some of you, but and if you split up, not all of you. So you do make it back to Talagas. He does have like he has like a bread bowl, and you like walk in with the remnants of your bread bowl. He's like, oh damn it. So he's like, I will fix something else, and he like goes over and starts like cooking something else up. And Ishrigar just like slowly pulls the bread bowls over to himself. And he's like, hello everyone, was your day fruitful?
I suppose so, actually. I mean, I always feel like we have more questions than answers anytime.
Isn't that life, though? And he's just over there, like, banging around pots and pans now.
How about your day, Telegast? Has there been anything else strange going on?
Nothing for me. I just work the shop all day. Unfortunately, I can't really take a day off to investigate. I kind of have to, it's a large building. I have to pay rent somehow, so...
Would you you said you have pull in this city, no?
I have a limited amount of pull, yes.
There's a stormbird staying at the castle that we would like to speak with. Do you think you could arrange that for us?
Oh yes, give me a moment. And you watch as he just like puts the pan down, his eyes go white for a second, just a quick flash, like a sparkle. And he like sends out a message really quick. It's like, Lord Leon will see you for dinner tonight. And he's just like, he just like goes about. It's like very nonchalantly.
Fenris looks at his coat, looks at Oleander. I cannot go dressed like this.
No, you cannot. I don't know if we will find any place still open tonight, but we will make do. Come on. Anyone else need something nicer to wear? I just sort of like narrow my eyes at the other two.
I don't know, Oleander. You're the etiquette expert, I suppose. Is this acceptable?
We are going to a castle. We should probably not necessarily look like filthy adventurers. Come on, everybody, let's go shopping.
Yay!
At least what we can find.
As you're walking out, you hear Ishrigar's like low rumbling voice say, Talagast, you should not have used your favor with the king for these people. And Talagast says, they're fine. They have good favor.
Oh, no.
Fine.
We're gonna ruin everything for this guy.
There goes
Oh,
Talagast's
fine.
network.
And at that, we will go to break.
His
and
next rent hike is gonna be ridiculous.
All right.
We'll go to break and we'll just come back at dinner, basically.
Yeah, and just
So-
remember, we gotta like crash slobs.